Steve.
Pfeiffer, go Cougs.
Or Pfeiffer. You know what? It's good that you're here, though. We can make fun of each other a little bit. Apple Cup just got over on Friday, and UW won, and unfortunate results for your team. But we're going to talk about what the opportunities for the Cougars are in the second half of this show. Right now, what I'd like to do is get to the Seahawks. We're both big Seahawks fans. Steve, the Seahawks won 39-30 today. They got into a scoring, a shootout with the Steelers. Is that what you want to see out of this team?
No, I wasn't really a fan of, the leader. It changed 5 times. Who was ahead?
Yeah, I know. And when I saw that the Steelers went up, 27-26, was it, in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, because they went for two-point conversions. And I know
Why do
for
we
sure
do
they
that?
got
Why
one.
do we do that?
Yeah, I don't. We went for it twice and didn't get it.
Okay. So you're leaving basically 2 points on the board, and at that point in time, we're down by 1. That would have been the lead, and I don't freaking get
Correct.
that. So okay, I've got to ask you a question though. What, in your experience, you're a longtime Seahawks fan, and I know you guys are too, but I want to hear from you. What was the problem today? Why couldn't the defense stop the Steelers in the fourth quarter?
Their offense came to play. I mean,
It's a good offense.
yeah, Big Ben threw for almost 500 yards, and
465.
465 yards.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it is hard to stop a team like that.
But where's
when
Legion of Boom though? Where are they?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I don't know what happened with us today. I mean, we a lot of lost opportunities, but we did have some interceptions, and we managed to pull through and make it happen.
Well, there was that fake right off the bat. There was that fake punt by Landry Jones, and he got picked off by welcome back Jeremy Lane.
Yeah. No, I was really pleased with that. Apparently, we weren't fooled with that play.
No, not at all. Who tackled him, by the way?
I don't remember.
Was it the grass? Was it the was it the ghost of Seahawks pass? He was running for the end zone. The only guy behind him, or in front of him, I'm sorry, was Landry Jones, the quarterback. He could have bowled him over.
Of course.
But Jeremy Lane, I don't know, maybe, in that year of rehab, just didn't have legs under him like the game conditioning.
Yeah. No, for sure. And fortunately, fortunately, we did really good with our running game.
Always hit silent on your phone when you're doing a show. Anyway, so go on. What are you going to say?
I was going to say Rawls is doing great, though. I mean, last game he ran 200-plus yards. I think he did really well today as well. Russell showed up.
They were hard yards. It was, 24 attempts for 84 yards. But the story was Russell Wilson, wasn't it?
Yes.
Russell Wilson had 300 some odd yards with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns. So that's fantastic.
That's what we've been needing.
And even though, Big Ben put up, I think he only had 1 touchdown pass.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't have the stats in front of me right now. But it seemed like Wilson outdueled Ben Rothlesberger. Neither team could run,
Agreed.
though. And that's the thing that really confused me. Is like you have 2 teams that are historically grounders and pounders, and without Le'Veon Bell, the Steelers could not get any yards. Without Marshawn Lynch, Rawls got some yards, but they were all hard-fought yards.
Sure.
But neither team could play pass defense.
No, I watched. I mean, they were doing great. The Steelers, unfortunately, they did fantastic as far as their throwing game goes. We just got lucky on a couple of interceptions. We had a couple of sacks, not many, but that helped.
I want to see a few more. But you know what, though? I want to see more sacks, but Big Ben does not get sacked.
No, he doesn't get sacked. However, we need another thing, kind of changing topics here, but they need to really work on those penalties. That well, they do. That really hurt us.
I mean, they're terrible. The whatever thought process goes through some of these Seahawks, as they're playing the game, if there's any thought process at all, just baffles me. The errors the unforced errors that they make.
Yep, diving on the pile late. Yeah.
What was that? That was Jarris. We were on the goal line. Luckily, we scored. But
Yes.
you,
But still, that was a 15-yard penalty, I think.
15-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's a difference sometimes between a touchdown and a field goal, and 4 points can win and lose a game.
All right, Steve. So not Jeremy Stevens. Where did I pull Jeremy Stevens out of? Jimmy Graham, who, well, he kind of is like Jeremy Stevens, a blowhard. Yeah, I mean, I'm being kind of mean about it, but he got injured, and I'm not certain that's a bad thing. Oh, do you have a dissenting opinion?
Yeah, I really think he's underutilized a lot. Actually, I think he's a great player. I really do. They just don't throw the ball enough. Every player's going to screw up. Every player's going to miss their, a few opportunities here and there.
Well, okay, so I'm going to disagree with you. I say that they do throw to him enough. And what I saw in this Cardinals game was Jeremy Graham dropping ball after ball. He came here because he's supposed to be 270, 6'6", and when some safety hits him, it doesn't affect him. But what I saw was over the middle, entire year. He, makes the miraculous catch, but then he makes like a really terrible, easy drop. Like,
yeah, no, and unfortunately, I see where you're getting at, and I mean, you're getting your wishes that he's done for the year. He's got, unfortunately, I saw the replay, and that's, your ankle or knee or whatever, it ain't supposed to bend that way.
Yeah, well, that's it for the season. I mean, actually, and I'm joking around. That could be his career, and that's not good. But what I want to get to, though, Steve, is I think that without why do I keep saying Jeremy Stevens? Without Jimmy Graham, I think we might not have to be focused on him anymore. That we can spread the ball around like we've been doing.
Yeah.
And not feel like I don't feel Russell Wilson and Graham ever got any chemistry.
That is very possible. I can see where you're coming from.
And I don't know whose fault that is.
You can't really tell. We don't know.
Well, I blame Bevel. Bevel is the source of all evil on the planet. That's the worst human being that I've ever met.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of that gentleman myself.
All right, so let's take a look at the Seahawks from maybe a bigger perspective here. So they got the win against Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually didn't think that they were going to beat the Steelers this week. So I think this is a win.
The first half was hard to watch. Going. I mean, we were, and I'd like to think there still are a second half team. So I mean.
You mean second half of the season or second half of the game?
Usually second half of the game, okay. Although this season's been kind of an anomaly in the sense that we have not showed up at all.
Well, what, all of our losses have been lost in the fourth quarter? Okay.
Yeah, no, we've blown some big leads.
So what is your perspective, Steve, for the Seahawks for the remainder of this season? What do you think they're going to do against the Vikings, the Cardinals again, the St. Louis Rams, and we have the Browns?
Yes, the Browns.
If I give you 4 games, what do you think they're going to do? What's their record?
I think the Cardinals are going to be tough to beat. I really do. They're on fire. They're doing great. I'm not so worried about the Vikings or the Browns. I think we'll be fine as long as we stay focused and get our act together. We can't be...
Okay, get our act together. What specifically have you seen that isn't... Oh, okay, the fouls, the penalties.
Exactly. 14 penalties in a game. No, we can't be doing that. We can't be tying for our record high in penalties and hope to win a game.
What else do you want to see?
Less slant passes. I mean, it's...
Really? Okay.
Really? Yeah.
Wow, okay. You and I are in disagreement. Okay, this isn't just like me being a Husky and you're a Cougar. This is a fundamental. I don't understand your philosophy here. I think the slant pass is perfect when you have a fierce pass rush come at you.
Sure. I mean, we need to change it up. For example, when Lynch is in, run up the middle. It's like we've become too predictable. You can't do that. But at the same time, when you're 3rd and 10. and you're throwing a slant pass
for 5 yards.
it's like, geez, sorry, 2 or 3 yards is not going to cut it. It's like you got to throw the ball down the field. You can't be stupid about it, but
Okay, I think I understand you. It's not the actual play that you have a problem with. It's the
results,
timing of it. It's the results. It's also the predictability, the nature of the predictability of it. And predictability has been a real huge problem with the Seahawks this year. I am not a fan of the bubble screen as a play itself.
Yeah.
But I'm especially not a fan of how predictable they are. You can see whenever they line up in a certain formation, here comes the bubble screen. And if I can figure that out, if you can figure that out,
we got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, you tell me.
Just like Pittsburgh, they pulled a couple of trick plays on us. Had no idea what was going on.
Oh yeah,
and it worked out great for them.
You bet. Was there anything that you liked from today's game? Did you like Baldwin? Was Baldwin impressive today?
Baldwin was all right. Rawls was okay.
Baldwin ran 80 yards to win the game.
That was one play.
Okay. Where was he? Where was he when on other plays where you need him? I got it.
Yeah. No, I was really happy with our passing game. Was, I think, substantially improved from previous games. It's several hundred yards versus 100 yards.
You bet. Now, was that a function of a really bad Steelers pass defense, which they've been bad the entire year, or was that a function of this offense clicking and Wilson finally trusting his receivers?
I think we finally figured out a system. I think where it's more so the camaraderie of the team. We're finally getting together and making it happen.
Okay, we're running up against a break here, but I got another question or two here for you, Steve. Thomas Rawls, at the end of this season, do you foresee Marshawn Lynch being canned, being told to take a hike, or DC Rawls staying on as a backup to Lynch?
I don't think he'll get canned, but I would not be surprised if Lynch decides to retire or if he does take a step back, because Rawls is doing great. Lynch has done what he wants to do. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one of them. He's, for lack of a better word, he's fulfilled his bucket list. Mm-hmm. That's any football player's dream.
What do you want as a 12, though? As a 12, what do you want to see?
As much as I'd love to see Lynch in, I think it's time to let Rawls take over.
Do you feel that this is true for the other players on the team? When we start running up on the near of the end for Bruce Irvin, when you're looking at someone like maybe a Jermaine Kearse, so you're talking about these guys who are at not the top tier, not your Marshawn Lynch, mm-hmm. not the next needed tier, but maybe that mid-level role player guy. Is it time to maybe look at a Baldwin, a Kearse, a Bruce Irvin, not paying him and finding cheaper, better talent?
I think in the long run it'd be better to find new talent. Not that I don't like the players we currently have, but you got a lot of players that are asking top dollar, and we can't give it to them all.
You bet.
We just can't.
You bet. I mean, you're taking a look at like an offensive line that probably could have used 1 or 2 free agents who dominate.
Exactly.
And, yeah. All right. Well, we're running up against a break here, and we're going to come back to the next section and talk about the Apple Cup with Steve Pfizer and myself.
There we go.
DeWeese. We'll be right back.
Soft kitty, warm kitty.
Welcome back to Seattle Side Up. My name is Abraham DeWeese. I'm the editor-in-chief here at Seattle Side Up. With us is our special guest star, Steve Pfizer. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well. Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
No problem. You are from Washington State, so I thought you really wouldn't care if I denigrated you by referring to you as something other than your actual name. Like, we're good friends here at Seattle Side Up, and usually the way I treat a Cougar fan, like Steve, is the way I might treat a redheaded stepchild. Literally.
Oh.
Redheaded,
Thank you.
but as a stepchild.
It's all right. Our record's better than yours. Continue.
Okay, all right. We're going to talk a little bit about the Apple Cup here. The University of Washington came into the Apple Cup needing an historic win, and they stuck it to the Cougars. They beat them down to the tune of 49-10.
Yeah, that was a brutal game.
Now, I wrote the preview for this on seattlesideup.com, and I actually predicated the win based off of whether or not one Luke Falk played the game or not. Steve, Luke Falk was injured for the game. True freshman Peyton Bender played.
First career start.
Was that the type of game you expected from Bender, or was that disappointing?
I was disappointed. I can't say I didn't see it coming. He's a redshirt freshman, and it was his first career start. That is not the game that you want to have your first career start. It really isn't.
You bet, because the UW, the Huskies, all their players are coming into play.
They want to win.
And they want
just
to
like
win.
We want to beat you. I don't like losing. I really don't. I really don't like. I was really excited for the first 80% of our first drive.
Oh, well, that first drive, you guys went down. Should have scored a touchdown. Ended up being a field goal. What
Correct.
happened? What happened there?
I don't know. I don't know if it was our receivers just not trusting Bender or Bender's inexperience.
It seemed to me like they had it in order, and then somewhere it fell off the wheels. And I've been reading some of the publications for the Wazoo Wazoo recaps of the game, and I have not been able. Nobody's been able to figure out pinpoint exactly what happened there with the success in that first drive and drive and a half, and the complete failure by the offense from there on out. The defense, actually, I thought was okay, even though the Huskies scored a lot. 3 of the Husky touchdowns were off defensive interceptions.
Correct. Now, the UW's defense came to play. Short and simple, that's how it was. And our offense, I think Bender made too many mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But then again, I also watched our receivers drop several passes that would have resulted in first downs.
Okay. So we have a receiver for the Cougars who is going to go to the pros, right?
Sure.
And that is?
What, Daniels?
Yes. And you have Luke Falk, who might be going to the NFL. Do we know if he's going to the NFL or not?
It's hard to tell. Head injuries are not something you want to mess around with.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm kind of curious if, does this 7-4 record go to shambles based off of the 2 best offensive players leaving for the NFL next year?
I'd like to think no, but it's hard to see. It's hard to say. It depends on who we're going to recruit. And I mean, if Bender becomes our starting quarterback and he plays like he did during the Apple Cup, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He made a lot of really risky plays, or throws to a guy with 3 defenders on him. Ended up resulting in 3 interceptions. And we had 7 turnovers. And you can't win a game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. 7 turnovers, you're not going to win.
So you've been watching the Cougars the whole year. Is Luke Falk the complete opposite of what Bender was during the Apple Cup?
I think Falk is much more confident. I think he's much more competent. He's doing a much better job at hitting his receiver spot on when he needs to do so.
You bet. Okay, so what I saw from the Cougars is I saw a talent inferiority. Yes, they were not as talented, but what I've been seeing from the Cougars the entire year is execution, execution, execution. And that's not what we saw in the Apple Cup, but we saw with Luke Falk against your Oregon Ducks, that epic win. What we saw with Luke Falk against Stanford, they almost won that one.
Sure.
Execution.
No, I know. We played well against UCLA too, scoring that final touchdown
Came back
with not even a minute and leaving, 2 seconds left over at the end of the drive? No, because without that, we would have lost.
You bet. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what your thoughts were as a Cougar fan when Portland State beat up your Cougars back in September. Division II Portland State Vikings, who play on a AAA minor league baseball park.
Yeah.
What did you think of then?
I was disappointed. I had no words. It's like they're having an off day. They came thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, no problem. But I think that Oregon just wanted it more. Yep. You know, it's sometimes when you think something's going to be easy, then all of a sudden,
State.
Correct, yeah, and then they come. It's like, no, we're going to kick your ass, and they do.
When did you get your confidence back as a Cougar fan? When did you decide, you know what, forget the Portland State thing. That was an aberration. That was a first game of the year. They caught us off guard. When did you get to the point where it's like, yes, Cougs, you guys are going to make it. You guys are going to a bowl game. When did you think that?
Always. I mean, that's very first game. That is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a bowl game. I'm hoping that we're going to get our stuff together and make it happen.
Okay.
I mean, part of it's, having the right players. But then again, they have to have the will. They want to make it happen. And sometimes it doesn't work.
All right, just a brief shout out to Gabriel. Hi. Sorry we missed you last week. We got you this time. All right, back to the show. One of our listeners out there, any listeners out there want us to say hello? We'll say hello. It's not a problem. Anyway, we see the Cougars now having a 7-4 record with an opportunity at a bowl game. Not just an opportunity. I take that back. A guaranteed bowl game. They're high enough up to where they're going to get one. What do you want? Do you want the Las Vegas Bowl? Do you want the Sun Bowl in El Paso? Do you want the Foster Farms Bowl in San Francisco?
Farms, no.
Or do you want the Alamo Bowl in Texas? All four are possible.
I'd kind of like to see the Sun Bowl.
Okay. Tell me why you like the Sun Bowl. There's a history behind it, isn't there? It's been around for a long time.
It has, but unfortunately, I've only been following for a short period. I haven't followed it long enough to know.
Okay, but why do you want the Sun Bowl? Is the question?
Why do I want the Sun Bowl?
Why do you want the Sun Bowl?
Because I've read articles
that's a higher level bowl.
That is a higher level bowl that we would love to get into.
See, I would think a lush like you, who has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
You have, because you're a Cougar.
Of course.
They don't consider a drinking problem a problem. They call it an opportunity.
Precisely.
You have a smoking problem.
No.
You have what? No, just for the sake of this, for the sake of my argument, you got a gambling problem, and you got a hunchback. So I understand you Cougar fans with all those problems that you have. A place like Vegas might be a good place for you.
Uh-huh.
Right? Our fans think so.
I'm sure.
I saw them wink. You wouldn't like to go to the Vegas Bowl?
No.
No, why?
Why not the Sun Bowl? It's a better bowl.
El Paso? You want to go to El Paso on December 29th. That is where you'd rather be than to take you and your lady, or take you and your guy. I don't judge. To Las Vegas, man. You don't want Las Vegas.
No.
All right, okay. So one thing that we are going to have to look at for the Cougars here is that it really actually doesn't matter what bowl they go to. The fact that they're back in a bowl game is important and relevant.
You guys only went to a bowl game because you won that game.
We actually are not back. Okay, the UW Huskies may not be in a game. There's a possibility. But, I mean, let me stick with the Cougars. I want to stick with the Cougars. We don't cover the Cougars enough. That's all I hear. Abraham, why don't you talk about the Cougars? Abraham, there's Cougars out there. Abraham, why don't you date a Cougar? That's all I ever hear from you guys out there on the internet. But, okay, fine. I got a Cougar on here, and I'm not dating him. But, no, you're not my type. But we got a Cougar on here. I want to hear the Cougar perspective. I want to know, not having been to a bowl game, 2 years ago you went to a bowl game, right, with Leach?
Yes.
Copper Bowl or something like that?
Yeah.
No, New Mexico Bowl?
I don't recall, but I believe we lost.
Well, yes, you did, because it was, I want to say it was the New Mexico Bowl, and it was a game where you guys decided not to run. You chose, as you were up by something like 6-7 points, with 2 minutes left on the clock, you chose not to run. Mike Leach, the Pirate, does not like to run the ball. This is the air raid offense. Tell me a little bit about the air raid offense and what you feel about it as a Cougar fan.
It's upsetting. It really is. Yeah,
okay.
Really. Yeah, it really is.
It gets a lot of points on the board.
But it's okay to run the ball when you have the lead. It is perfectly fine. It's, you don't win by 14 or whatever. You win by 6. It doesn't matter how much you win by. A win's a win. Let's
go back to the days, though, of a Dennis Erickson, Mike Price, the historic great coaches, right?
Sure.
They've all been pass-heavy offenses, haven't they?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Now they succeeded, and I guess Mike Leach is starting to succeed now.
He's doing great.
He's doing fantastic. I mean,
he's turned it around.
How do you do this? How do you succeed at Wazoo? What is the formula there? You don't have the money that Oregon has. You don't have the big city that UW has. You don't have, Southern California. Like, what do you do?
We have the new training facilities. They just completely revamped everything.
But don't other teams have training facilities that are pretty vamped up and new?
I wouldn't know. I don't pay attention to the other teams' training facilities.
Well, I mean, what do they do to recruit kids to come to Pullman, Washington? What do they do? How do they do it?
Awesome there.
Tell me about. Okay, so for those of you out there that didn't figure this out, this guy went to Pullman. You went. What years did you go?
I went 05 to 09.
05 to 09.
Yeah, no, we played really well when I was a freshman. We were bowl eligible my sophomore year, and then Brink graduated, and we kind of fell off.
And then it kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, you went there and you had the opportunity to go to games, right?
Every single one.
Student section. All right. So you've obviously been to UW games. I've talked to you before, right?
Yes, I have.
You've been to Wazoo games. Mm-hmm. Tell me and you've been to Seahawks games too. Tell me what it is to go to a Wazoo football game versus some of the other experiences you've had.
Oh, it's the passion. Everybody there. I mean, you got all the chants. Everybody is so into WSU winning the game. We're fierce. Fans.
Sometimes at a Hawks game, you'll have like maybe 20% of the stadium is like a Packers fan, right?
Sure.
Sometimes at a Hawks game, you might have fans who just joined up last week, and
bandwagoners.
Yeah, now they got their little fancy hats,
of course,
fancy shirts and whatnot, and the bandwagoneers. Sometimes at UW games, you just have like a really I went on October 31st, a night game, and it's cold, it's rainy, and you have fair weather fans.
That's not important. It's not important. I remember an Apple Cup I went to years ago. It was 20 whatever degrees out. It's cold. I waited 14 hours in line to get a good spot, and I ended up on the 40-yard line, first row. You just got to be loyal. You got to be a loyal fan. That's what it's about.
All right. And you are a loyal fan.
Darn right. Win or lose.
You choose the wrong team, but you're loyal. All right. We got to run a break here. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit about the Sounders. check us out. We're Seattle Side Up. Check us out on seattlesideup.com. Check out my Twitter at AbeD, at SSU _ Abe D, and check us out at seattlesideup.com on Twitter. We'll be right back.
Go Cougs.
Welcome to SeattleSideUp.com. My name is Abraham DeWeese. With me is Steve Pfizer. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so earlier in the show, we covered a little bit about the Seahawks' epic win against the Steelers. Great article is available for that game. Check us out on Facebook, Seattle Side Up. Check out our article on www.seattlesideup.com. All right, we talked some Seahawks. We talked some Apple Cup. Sorry the game did not go your way, but you always have this over me. You can say you had the much better season. You had the epic win against Oregon, an amazing win. You have a bowl game in hand, and we'll see how we do in the postseason. All right, I'm going to cover a little bit about the Sounders. Just quickly here. We watched the Sounders have probably the worst season with the best possible players that any, Seattle team has ever had. You have your Clint Dempsey's, your Obafemi Martins, Andres Ivanishitz. You have your Ramon Torres, your Brad Evans. You have famous guys, but we couldn't get past Dallas.
No, too many injuries. That did not help.
You bet.
In fact, that we put in our subs early. Who's to know that
You're talking about the second game against Dallas, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Now the first game, it was a fantastic win. He played great. When it came down to business, though, second game where we really needed to shut them out, or even just a tie at 0, it didn't matter. It really came down to the last 5 minutes.
You were talking about injuries, so you're talking about like the Ramon Torres injuries, and you also were kind of Do you think there were some players out there, if they might have been injured, or if not, they looked like they were old?
Well, it didn't look
slow?
like they were playing really well.
No.
And then, of course, the 3-game suspension for Dempsey on top of that didn't help.
That didn't help. The Osvaldo Alonso was injured that game.
And then
That
Marco
doesn't help.
Papa with his lovely little DUI. That didn't help either.
You're talking about throughout the season. Yeah, no, you're right.
No, but still, a win's a win. It all adds up.
That all does add up. I mean, you take a look also at the season. We had to play a lot of games that other teams didn't have to play. We had Clint Dempsey. We had
Team
Brad
USA,
Evans,
yeah.
Team USA.
Exactly.
We had Marco Papa played with Guatemala, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ramon Torres played with Panama. I mean, what other team has half their team on frickin' national team duty?
Sure. No, it makes a big difference. It is a team effort, but a kink in the chain really screws it up.
You bet. And you had that epic, they call it the red card wedding, where Dempsey tore up the red card for the official.
Yeah.
Does that show like maybe a bit of, do you think that shows a bit of frustration in the team throughout the year?
Yes. I mean, I'm a little disappointed myself that he would do that, probably knowing the repercussions of doing so.
Yeah, I mean, don't you gotta have some composure?
You do. When you make it to that level, you may not like the call, but...
And let's be fair, it was just an Open Cup game. It's not MLS play.
But
are you a fan of this? Are you a fan of playing these? Are you a fan of sending your best players to national team? Are you a fan of the U.S. Open, CONCACAF, this, that, and the other tournament?
Yes and no.
Okay, which ones do you like? Which ones do you understand? And which ones are you like?
I don't mind when Clint Dempsey goes play on the Team USA. That's great, And for him, it's an honor. It's like, hey, you're really good. We'd love you to play for us. It's like I understand him wanting to say absolutely yes, but at the same time, not if it means putting
the season in jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now
because you come back and you're too tired to play the next game.
Yeah, well, you haven't rested, and your team's had to fill in for you with whomever, and it's just it really hurt us, I think, in the end.
You bet. So you look at the Sounders for this next season. Just a horrible loss to Dallas that shouldn't have happened, but a team that kind of looked old, maybe looked a little slow, looked a little bit tired, frustrated, what have you. Ziggy Schmidt is coming back next year.
That he is, yep. Renewed contract, yes.
That means to me they're not blowing the team up.
No. To be honest, I think we have a good team as it is.
Okay, so you're saying don't blow this team up. It's not too old.
No, I don't think so. No.
What would you do? Are there certain players that you would tag to maybe trade, or are there certain positions that you might think would be good to get better at?
I really like Martins. He's great. I love Marco Papa. He's fantastic. I'd like to see more rolled on. Maybe some Brad Evans. He did great. I remember one game, he scored 2 goals for us just in one game, and that made a heck of a difference.
Just want to say, Christian Roldan from the University of...
I know. University of Washington.
Anyway, but no, he's a midfielder, and I think I agree with you. I want to see more of him, less of Lamar Nagel. Maybe just get rid of Nagel. I appreciate what he's done for the team in the past, but I don't think he's given us what we need.
No, it's unfortunately there does come a time where you need to move on.
Exactly.
Get some new people in there.
Yeah.
That maybe younger crowd.
And I don't think Andy Rose is not old. He's 27, but there's got to be somebody better. Like he is no Osvaldo Alonso.
He's not bad, but he's not great. He's just kind of there.
He's kind of there. If you had other players around, like you know what he is, he's an off the bench guy. But he's starting because Alonso was injured. He's starting because Pineda was ineffective. He's starting because Lamar Nagel was nothing. And, it took the bringing back of Freeberg to to kind of settle down that midfield a little bit. What are your thoughts about this Austrian, Andreas Ivanovic? They also call him the David Beckham of Austria.
I've been really impressed with him. He's played fantastically. I've only seen him in a few games, but he's made some major plays. Major plays made a huge difference.
We wouldn't actually be, in my opinion, we wouldn't be in the playoffs without him. We got to run a break. We're going to come back with a segment called Buy, Sell, or Go to Hell. And with me will be Steve Pfizer. I'm Abraham DeWeese with Seattle Side Up. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to SeattleSideUp.com. My name is Abraham DeWeese. With me is Steve Pfizer, Washington State Cougar fan. How's it going, Steve?
It's going well, thank you.
Excellent. All right, so we are gonna now we're in our last segment, and we're going to talk a little bit about some celebrities, some Seattle sports area celebrities, maybe a couple other guys too. There could be Pullman celebrities, we don't know. And our technical director, Bob Luckey, is going to ask us whether we should buy their jersey, whether we should sell their jersey, or tell them to go to hell. Bob Luckey, have you got some names for us?
Thank you, Abraham. Yes, I do. Okay, we're going to start off in college sports, since that seems to be the theme of the night, and people that couldn't quite cut it, because that also seems to be the theme of the night. We have Georgia coach Mark Richt.
Ooh.
And for a bonus, Georgia athletic director Greg McCarthy, who pulled the trigger.
Okay, well, as you know, Mark Richt was fired today and told to go to hell. I buy his jersey. University of Georgia, you guys are dumb. Just D-U-M-B, dumb. Or as you'd see in the South, hell, dumb. Anyway, because they're from the South, they're ignorant. Anyway,
Sure.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. I'm glad you guys all got the joke. Anyway, no, the Mark Richt only wins 10 games a year. He has a hard time beating Alabama. Guess what? Nobody else beats Alabama. You're not going to find some championship caliber coach out there. What are you going to go do? Get Chip Kelly? You're going to go out there and get Steve Sarkisian? Well, tell you what, they're probably going to get the same record. That's about 10 wins a year as ex-Georgia coach, Mark Richt.
Everybody wants to win. They always do. But sometimes, I think he did a fine job. It's, they want more. And sometimes I think, these universities want too much. I think he did a fantastic job this year.
All right, well, that's two buys for the jersey. Mr. Technical Director Bob Luckey, who do we have next?
Next up, we have New York State Attorney General.
What?
I don't believe I know who that is.
Eric Schneiderman, who is opening an investigation into FanDuel and the like.
Oh, okay.
Organization.
I thought we were going politics. Well, we are going politics, but I was just like, what do you think about the Senate race in New Hampshire? They should have a Senate race. No, anyway.
Yeah, sure.
FanDuels. For those of you who out there who don't know what it is, it's a daily or weekly gambling game for football, and I guess baseball has it as well. And it's illegal in some states like Massachusetts and Washington State. It's just recently been made illegal in the state of New York.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it's terrible. Online gambling, it's hard to really, you can't really regulate it. And a 15-year-old can fake an account and say, yeah, I'm 18. Here's my father's information, whatever. I want to gamble $100 on.
Wait. Okay, so you're saying sell the jersey or go to hell?
Oh, I'm saying go to hell, I suppose.
Okay.
I do not like FanDuel at all.
Wow, okay. Well, see, you know what? Okay. So you're saying you side with the Attorney General.
Correct.
I don't agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, okay, so the 15-year-old, okay, it's illegal for a 15-year-old to enter a contract. I get that. I understand that. But you know what? The joke's on FanDuels. There's no legal recompense for them to get that money back. So screw FanDuels in that situation. Online gambling is already available in all sorts of forms. It's available in 40 to 45 states. What's the harm? The 15-year-old? Are we going to talk about the children? Are you Sally Struthers? Oh, be careful about the children.
No. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not an online gambling fan. I'm really not.
Is it like the? Are you just saying like it's a enablement or something or?
Yeah, no, I would go as far as to say that.
Oh my
yeah.
God, you're such a socialist, man. You're probably voting for Bernie Sanders.
No.
And you're probably voting for Vladimir Putin.
Okay. We all know we're all voting for Donald Trump. Moving on. We have the only man in football to have Peyton Manning as a backup quarterback, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it?
He's 6'11".
Really?
I don't know. Do you buy the jersey?
No.
Yeah. You're basically looking at the Kelly Stauffer for you Seahawks fans. You're looking at the Kelly Stauffer of the Denver Broncos. You're looking at the guy who followed a legend, and he's going to be a nothing. He's a big nothing. He's 6'11" and nothing.
I think I like Peyton Manning, despite the fact that he's not on our team. I think I respect the guy. He's a great player. He's a great quarterback.
You'll find out there's some writers for my staff who are quite tall. And these writers for my staff love Brock Osweiler because he's 6'11". But he's a nothing.
Height doesn't mean jack if you don't got the skill.
Sell the jersey.
No.
Sell it.
Okay, thank you. Just because I think they're both equally bad. Any Oklahoma jersey.
So Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, I assume. Or you might be talking about the Thunder.
Well, nobody should ever buy one of those.
So University of Oklahoma stomped Oklahoma State. Truth is, the Big 12 doesn't play defense.
I don't even pay attention to Oklahoma whatsoever. I wouldn't buy any of their jerseys at all.
Yeah, sell it. I have yet to find. I've yet to find over a 3% beer in Oklahoma. So until they get that, I ain't buying their jersey.
Okay, our one and only SSU superfan, Gabriel Perez. Or is it Gabriel? One of the two. Is he a follower?
Buy, sell, or go to hell with.
Buy, sell, or go to hell.
Oh, buy. I buy Gabriel's jersey. Buy it.
Hey,
No
first
good
one
reason
show
not
up
to.
2 shows in a row. Okay, moving on. We have the Penguin himself, Ziggy Schmidt.
The Penguin. I thought he was going with Danny DeVito from Batman 2. But okay, we go with Ziggy Schmidt. Ziggy Schmidt's coming back. He is. He's going to implement the same offense that I hate. The one where you pack the penalty box. You don't take any shots from far out. I don't like that. So I'm not going to buy the jersey. I'm not going to sell the jersey either. We get back to that Mark Richt problem, the coach at Georgia. Are there all these coaches you're going to go get that are better? The guy only took you to 7 straight playoffs.
I think Ziggy's done fantastic. I mean, it's, the coach can only do so much. It comes down to the players, executing their plays, as designed,
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much. Yeah, you can't go out there and start playing for them. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
Exactly. No, I'd buy it. I think he's doing fantastic.
Alrighty. All right, do we have one more, Bob? We got time for one more.
We do have time for one more, and I am going to pull a Matt Page with this name.
Matt Page, tell him to go to hell.
Yeah.
I say
No,
Matt Page,
I don't like.
go to hell.
I don't like that jersey at all.
I want a jersey. I'll burn it. I will burn it and I'll step on it on Matt Page's
I'm donating to
jersey.
those
most
kids in
dangerous
Africa.
regularly encountered
Spit
animals in the
on
world.
Matt Page's jersey.
Guys, it's just a caribou.
Dodgers player, Puig.
Yasiel Puig. So Yasiel Puig, what did he do? He beat up somebody?
He beat up somebody in a nightclub and had to be arrested for it.
Yeah, so the Major League Baseball now has a rule where, similar to NFL, they can suspend you for indiscretions outside of the baseball part. That's a part of their collective bargaining. The guy beat up somebody at a nightclub. Go to hell. I mean, you're making millions of dollars. If you're making millions and millions of dollars, you have no business being in a nightclub. You can go do that later. Like when your career is done, you'll still be like 29, 28. You can go all the nightclubs you want. Right now, you need to be taking care of yourself.
You can still go to the nightclub.
You can't go to the nightclub.
Yes, you can go to the nightclub. You just need to
Take it easy.
take it easy. Act responsibly. You got to understand that you are risking a lot if you decide that you want to get into a bar fight.
Oh, listen to you. What do you know? Okay, you are a nightclub DJ. Of course you want people with money going to your freaking nightclub.
Of course.
Of course you want people giving you money so that you can do your
Beautiful.
whatever the hell it
Wow.
is you guys do. Of course you want that. But the thing is, these guys are making millions of dollars, and that's predicated off of them getting their act together and keeping themselves straight.
You can still keep yourself straight, go out to a nightclub and have a good time.
Really.
Really, it's as simple as walking away. You don't need to beat somebody up because you don't agree with something, you don't like something they did, you walk away.
What if he's a Cougar fan? Can I beat him up for being wrong?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, let's move away from Steve's dependence on roofies. And
a secret.
we got one more.
This is our last one.
This is our
Okay,
last
this is our last one.
This one's special. You have to buy one of them.
Okay.
Do you buy offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel's jersey?
Nope.
No.
Or,
No.
given the entire season's performance of the defensive coordinator Chris Richards?
Chris Richard, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Chris
honestly
Richards.
thought you were going to say buy Darrell Bevel or Adolf Hitler's jersey, and I would have a hard time answering that. But Chris Richard, I'd buy his jersey. It's his first year. He's not done a very good job as compared to Dan Quinn,
He's got a lot to learn.
but it's his first year.
Exactly. Darren Bell's been around a long time, and
We know what he is.
he's nice and predictable. That's
That's the problem when you're an offensive coordinator.
That's what we don't need predictable. We I
You and
think
I-
sometimes he's just getting lucky.
Well, if you and I can sit there and frickin' call the play, don't you think the defensive coordinator for the Steelers knows what the play is?
Yes.
Yeah. So no, go to hell, Bevel. I buy, but maybe on clearance. Chris Richard's jersey
I might go the same way. He's too new.
or Cyber Monday. I buy it on Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
so.
there we go. There we go. Half price. No, but Bevel, no, I wouldn't. Clearance rack, they'd have to put on the additional clearance rack.
I might buy it if I wanted to make a voodoo doll and burn it.
There we go.
In effigy. All right. So thanks again for watching us this week. This has been Seattle Side Up. My name is Abraham DeWeese. With me was my very special guest star, Steve Pfeiffer, the Cougar fan.
Emphasis on the special.
Please check us out at SeattleSideUp.com. Please check us out at SeattleSideUp on Twitter during games. And of course, always on Facebook. Like us, leave comments below, and we'll say your name on air.